Good morning. I'm Faye Thompson. I'm from the Arkansas Delta, and this morning we're going to do a chocolate cake. It's called a Coca-Cola cake. It's one of the best chocolate cakes recipes that I have. It has 2 sticks of butter. That'd be a half a cup. We're going to mix with that 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and this is just Hershey's cocoa powder. 1 cup of Coca-Cola, just plain Coca-Cola. Now we're going to put this on the stove and let it come to a boil. Then we'll mix it with our other ingredients for the cake. We're going to turn this on probably medium heat, and we're just going to bring this to a boil is all we're going to do. Mostly get this butter melted and the cocoa mixed in with it. It's really a good chocolate cake. It's one of my favorites. I got another chocolate cake that I really like that everybody makes here too, is a Mississippi mud. We'll do that one day. My great-grandfather fought in the Civil War. He's from South Carolina, and when he was fighting in the Civil War in Mississippi, he married a girl there, my great-grandmother, and he lived there for the rest of his life and raised his family there. When my dad came along, there was a lot of fresh timber, and virgin timber they call it in Arkansas, and a lot of people were leaving Mississippi and coming to work in the timber, and that's what my dad did. And when he got through with that, he started farming the land after they got it cleared. I have got this ready now. The first thing we're going to do is to take Joy and spray our casserole. I use this rather than to grease and flour a pan. It's a lot easier for me to do this. We got 2 cups of all-purpose flour. About to pour that in the wrong bowl. You see how a 91-year-old brain works. We have 2 cups of sugar. Next we have 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. We want to mix all this up real good together. And we got 1 teaspoon of soda, baking soda. Now we're going to use 2 eggs. I'm going to break these. I need to whisk these up a little bit. Let me see where my whisk is. Okay, we're going to add our 2 eggs. We're going to add a 1/2 cup of buttermilk. And now we're going to add our chocolate mix. This is what we put on the stove and brought to a boil. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just going to guess at that, about a teaspoon. Now I'm going to take this hand mixer and mix this. I think that's about enough. Now we're going to add 1 1/2 cups of miniature marshmallows. Now these are going to kind of float on top. You mix them in, but they'll just float right on the top. Now our casserole is ready. We're going to cook this on a 350-degree oven. I already have preheated, and it cooks for about 45 to 50 minutes. Now we're going to make the icing for our cake. We're going to use a stick of butter. We're going to use 3 tablespoons of cocoa. That's at Hershey's cocoa. And we got to use 6 tablespoons of Coca-Cola. So I'm using the rest of this can from the cake batter a while ago. I hope we have 6 tablespoons. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. That measured out just exactly right, didn't it? They're going to use a whole can. Okay, now we're going to mix this up and put it on the stove to come to a boil. We're just going to bring this to a boil and be sure that the cocoa is mixed up real good in it. Now, I think that's ready. 16-ounce package of confectioner sugar. And we're just going to pour this mixture over the top of it. We're trying to get our icing ready, but when the cake comes out, we want to have the icing ready. The cake needs to be hot when you put it on there. We're going to add a cup of pecans, but I'm going to do that by hand. These pecans are raised in this area too. We have a few pecan trees on the farm. You know, pecans will have good and bad years like you do in farming or anything else. And usually I'll put enough pecans in the freezer to last me for 2 years, because sometimes you have a bad year and you don't get any, or they're either so high you don't want to buy them. Okay, our icing is ready now to put on the cake when it comes out of the oven. Now we've taken our cake out of the oven and we're ready to put our icing on it. So we put this on a warm cake because it spreads a lot better. I'll get it all on there and then I'll spread it out. Ooh, it smells good. I love chocolate. I really like chocolate and marshmallows together. These cakes are good frozen too if you want to freeze them. I freeze them a lot. Okay, our chocolate cake is finished, and I hope you try this recipe, and I hope you enjoy it as much as our family does. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.